The state's cross-examination of Jodi Arias set to resume for a fifth day in her murder trial. The lead prosecutor, Juan Martinez, known for a take-no-prisoner style, has been hammering away at Arias' many different versions of what happened. Could his tough approach, though, backfire with the jury? Take a listen to this snippet.
You're saying that you're not lying here, that what you're telling us is the truth, right?
Yes.
But you are telling us that when you spoke with the detective, that wasn't true, correct? Whatever it is that you told him.
Well, some things were not true. Most things.
Most things were true? Is that what you're saying?
Some things were not true.
Did you lie to the detective, yes or no?
Yes.
And did you lie to him on 2 occasions?
More than 2, yes.
Well, I'm talking about 2 dates. Did you lie to him on 2 dates? And did you also lie to 48 hours?
Yes.
Did you lie to people in Utah?
Yes.
Did you lie to Daniel Freeman?
Yes, everyone.
Right, so you lied to a lot of people, but you're saying that just because you are sitting here in this courtroom, there has been, for lack of a better term, a conversion, and you're now telling the truth, right?
For lack of a better term, yes.
So that's how it's been going. The testimony is back underway now. Susan Constantine is a jury consultant. Esther Panich is a criminal defense attorney, and Fred Tisi, a former federal prosecutor. Welcome to each of you. So, Susan, this is a mostly male jury. How do you think this style of Mr. Martinez is going to fly with those members of the jury?
Well, overall, we're looking at 7 or 11 male jurors, and then the remaining are females. But of course, 4 of those are alternates. But really, it's more about how those jurors accept and they take in information. So even if they were a male, if they tend to be more kinesthetic, which most men are not as feeling, it's going to really be offensive. Those type A personalities, absolutely. But then again, this overall, bombardment over time, I think, can be very ineffective if it's used consistently throughout without creating some rhythm and pace in his delivery.
Well, Esther, I have noted that just even that exchange that he had with her a moment ago that we played is a little more sedate than he was in the early going.
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
was the last.
This for Esther.
They're arguing.
Go ahead.
Thank you. They're arguing over semantics. Most, some, a few, numerous. I mean, the clip you played was pretty sedate, but I have heard examples, and it's enough already. You don't have to make the point 100 times. She admitted she lied. Move on to something else. You don't have to argue, did she lie numerous times or a few times? It means the same thing. It seems like Mr. Martinez is trying to make sure she says puppy instead of small dog. In the end, does it really matter? He's made his point. I think it comes off as he is trying to bully her, which if you find any of those jurors who have any sympathy for her being beaten down by him, that only helps her. It helps her case. She's looking at the death penalty. If she can establish some type of rapport, even if she can elicit some sympathy from a juror to her predicament right there, then it does not help the prosecution, even though the prosecution has all the facts on their side. They don't need to beat her up.
No, you know what, Esther? You're not going to get sympathy for a woman who sliced a guy 27 times, shot him in the head, and darn near decapitated him, and repeatedly lied about it. I think what Martinez is doing is he's going toe-to-toe, because in closing argument, he's going to say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this woman's entire defense, which turns solely on her testimony, was that she butchered this man because he made her do things that she didn't want to do. And you watched her stand with me toe-to-toe, day in, day out, question by question by question. Now, your jury consultant's right, John. People filter information differently. It's been my experience that they filter information predicated upon their predisposition and their life experiences. And the example I give my students is you go to a Chinese restaurant and you get a fortune cookie. It says you're going away for a long time. If you're a positive person, you're going to Tahiti with some redhead to drink drinks out of little coconuts. If you're a negative person, you're going to prison for tax evasion. It's the same piece of information. These people are going to filter the information predicated upon who they are, not so much Martinez's style. We love to talk about it and we make a big deal out of it, but jurors take their oath very seriously, and that's how they filter information.
Esther, Fred just brought up the fact that she has been telling this jury that he coerced her, the victim coerced her into all of these sex acts, and she wasn't really comfortable with them. And yet, Martinez did get her to admit that she actually enjoyed the raunchy sex that they shared. That's got to work against a lot of her arguments.
I agree. He's just going too far. He has been effective to get her to say that she lied. Frankly, she's readily admitted she's lied to everyone and expects the jury to believe that now she's telling the truth. I don't think anyone does believe she's telling the truth. The problem is, by constantly attacking her, the jurors might feel some level of sympathy. I agree, she did. I mean, I don't know if she did or not, but I believe that the facts are on the It is the prosecutor's case to lose, not Jodi Arias' case to win.
All right, so Susan,
he needs to be careful.
Susan, you're our jury expert here. Talk about Fred's point. I mean, Fred is saying that essentially these two are boxers in a ring. The prosecutor is going after her hard, and she's punching right back. How does that play with the jury?
Well, you know what? It's showing that Jodi Arias can stand on her own. So I think it's been very effective there because, you know what? He's been pushing her, and she's not the little wildflower she's presenting herself. And here's the other thing. I love the cognitive approach he's taking. Instead of going from beginning to end where Jodi can remember everything, he's taking the cognitive approach and going from backwards to forward and then jumping around. So it's kind of scrambling her mind up. And that's where we're starting to see this attitude with Jodi Arias, which I think has been tremendously has been beneficial for the state.
I've asked
go ahead, Fred. Go ahead, John. It's been very effective because, you know, she testified on direct that she remembered nothing about killing him, and he caught her slipping up yesterday. Very subtle, but I saw it. He said when you pulled his body into the shower, right? And she said, yeah, that's where I pulled it. Now, she had already said she had forgotten about it. So when you deal with people like her who are pathologic, you have to jump around like this. And I understand from this about this guy that in closing argument, he will pull all this together.
Yeah, there's also the fact of the gun. His friends say he didn't keep a gun at his house. She says it was in the closet. Her grandparents had a gun of the same caliber that was stolen from them just in the weeks ahead of this killing. A lot of questions here. Esther, one last crack at how it's all going to come together.
Well, you know, I think Martinez has already made his case. I just don't know why he needs to keep going at it. He's already gotten the facts he wants to use in closing argument. I think the longer she stays on the stand, the more likely it is for one juror to feel bad for her. And so I just don't know what he's doing.
It just takes one.
With 11 men on the jury, I'm not sure that anybody's going to be feeling particularly bad for her, but we'll see. A lot of testimony and closing arguments to come. Thanks to each of you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.